tuning in. In this video I'd like to show you how to make this rather nice slide frame. It's kind of in the style of the old transparency slides that you used to get years ago for slide projectors. And this is what mine looks like, but as we go along I'll give you some tips on how you can vary what you do to make this look different, make it look more like the way you would like it to look. The nice thing about this project is that when you finished it you will have a frame that you can use on any photograph, so you'll be able to use it again and again for different photographs, different pictures. So start up GIMP and make sure that your foreground and background colours are at the default black and white like this, and create a new image, 600 by 600, and make sure that the background colour is white. So you have one background, you have one layer called background. Create a new layer, call it frame. I'm going to call mine frame. Make sure it's transparency, set to transparency. So there's our new layer, frame, transparent, over the top of background. With the frame layer selected, go get your rectangle selection tool and make a new selection any size on the canvas. In the tools options, select rounded corners, set the radius to 20, set the position to 50 and 50, and the size 500 by 500. As you can probably see already, this is going to be the outside edge of the frame. Click on your foreground colour, and in the colours dialog set your colour to this colour, EFE BBB. Of course you can vary that yourself later on if you want to change that. Click OK and drag that colour onto that selection. Switch off the selection. You can either do that with Control, Shift and A, or just select none from the menu. With the rectangle tool, which should still be selected, draw another selection anywhere you like. We're going to set the properties of that in here. Untick rounded corners and set the position to 100, 100, size 400 by 400. Delete the selection and the whole of the background layer should show through in the middle. Over in the layers dialog, right click on the frame layer and select alpha to selection. And now the whole of the creamy coloured frame should be selected. With this selection active, create a new layer, call it shadow, and make sure we have transparency. With the shadow layer selected, select your move tool, but make sure this button is clicked so that we will be moving the selection. If you didn't click that button, you would end up moving the layer. We don't want to do that, we just want to move that selection because we want to make a little shadow region. So very important, make sure the image window is selected because you're going to use the cursor keys now. Hit the down arrow 5 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the right arrow 5 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now pick up your mouse again or your pen, whatever you're using, and reduce that selection. Do select, shrink by 2 pixels. Put a 2 in there. OK. And then feather that selection by 3 pixels. Do select, feather, put a 3 in there. OK. click on your foreground colour, and in the colour dialog set the colour now to an appropriate value for shadow. I'm going to use this. It's 8B, 8B, 87, and then just drag that colour swatch onto the selection. And in the layers dialog, click on the shadow layer if it's not already selected and move it below the frame layer. Switch off the selection, Control Shift A, or select none. And then finally in the layers dialog, select the frame layer, right click and select merge down, and then double click on the name and rename it frame. Now obviously you're going to save it, file save. My suggestion would be to save it as an XCF frame, an XCF file, .xcf. XCF is GIMP's own file format, and the reason why I suggest you save it first of all in that is because if you ever want to come back and modify it, make the frame bigger, smaller, different colour, change any aspect of it, then you'll need to be able to open it as a GIMP file, and XCF is GIMP's own file format. So now you've got it saved as XCF file, safely saved away for future use. You can use it right now, put a picture in it. I've got one here. I just take your picture and drag it over to your layers dialog, and GIMP will add a new layer with your image on it. Select that image layer and that you've just imported and put it down behind the frame layer but above the background. It goes without saying, of course, that your picture should be, the image that you want to put into the frame should be less than the width and height of the frame. But if your image is a little big, of course, you can just use the crop tool to crop that layer to the size you need it. Once you've done that, once you've popped your picture in there, you can do File, Save a Copy, and this time you can save it as a JPEG or BMP, anything you like. I'll use PNG, I rather like that format, and if I save that to my desktop, GIMP prompt you to merge visible layers, click Export, and then you'll get another dialog with some additional features that correspond to PNG. Click Save on there if you don't want to change any of that, and your file will be exported to PNG or whatever file format you've chosen. And here's mine. If I close my XCF, and you can see, there we go. That's it for this video. If you want to know any more details about some of the GIMP features that were used in this video, such as the select tools and the layers dialog, then you can check out my GIMP basics playlist, which you find on my channel page. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.